Foo Fighters have once again paid tribute to their late bandmate, the brilliant Taylor Hawkins, with a star-studded show at the Los Angeles Forum venue. And much like the previous tribute gig in London at Wembley Stadium, it featured many special guests and performances. So let's look back at 10 of the biggest moments from a rock show like no other. Opening up the gig was Violet Grohl, who once again performed a cover of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, before Dave Grohl introduced the legendary Joan Jett, who tore through the classics Cherry Bomb and Bad Reputation, accompanied by the Foo Fighters and Blink-182's Travis Barker. Joan said, "When I met Taylor, it kind of felt like I had known him forever. He is so easy to talk to, open and inquisitive. Taylor was able to inhabit both worlds as a huge, exuberant music fan who didn't look down on any genre of music, and yet a superstar, both behind the drum kit or stepping out and singing lead." Members of Rush once again took to the stage after their incredible set at Wembley, playing through classics including Working Man and YYZ. Ahead of the show, Geddy Lee said, "I shall never forget Taylor's supercharged excitement on that day in 2013 when both he and Dave inducted Rush into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That was the Taylor I knew, first and foremost a deeply passionate music lover to his very core." Despite his own obvious monster talents and tremendous success, he never lost that youthful enthusiasm, and I loved and admired him all the more for it. Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer Chad Smith also joined the band on stage, a longtime friend of Taylor. His kit during recent tour shows has featured a hawk image. During the show at Wembley, he told a story of how Taylor would hang out with young fans at the local music shop near the Foo Fighters studio. Taylor would actually buy drum equipment, drum sets, sticks, cymbals, whatever was needed of any of the kids that he was hanging out with. He knew how important it was to have good equipment, and he would just buy it for him and never tell anybody, and wouldn't tell obviously the store, and the kids would walk out with the stuff, and that's the kind of guy that Taylor Hawkins is. Also making a return performance in LA was Wolfgang Van Halen, joined once again by Dave Grohl and the Darkness frontman Justin Hawkins to run through Hot for Teacher and Panama. He said, "It is truly an honor to be asked to take part in this incredible event to celebrate Taylor with so many talented artists and amazing people. Taylor's influence on me and so many others is immeasurable." New additions for the Forum show lineup included the Pretty Reckless vocalist Taylor Momsen, who appeared alongside Soundgarden's Matt Cameron and Kim Thale, plus Nirvana legend Chris Novoselic. Matt and Kim previously worked with Taylor on the latest Pretty Reckless record, and as Taylor explains, the Soundgarden connection is something she shared with Hawkins. "The last time I stood on stage at the Forum was in January of 2019. Taylor Hawkins called me that morning at my hotel, wanting to know if I could switch songs with him. He was singing The Day I Tried to Live, which he had renamed in true Taylor form, The Day I Tried to Sing, in celebration of Chris Cornell. To now sing that same song he asked me to sing that night, standing on the same stage with his friends and bandmates, is surreal and heartbreaking. But in my heart, I know it's the best way I can honor one of the most amazing musicians and sweetest human beings I've ever met." Some 1980s rock legends also graced the Forum, with members of Leppard tearing through Rock of Ages and Photograph alongside Miley Cyrus. Foo Fighters' Pat Smear introduced the band by saying he'd actually seen them perform at the Forum venue back in 1983. Def Leppard's Joe Elliott said, "A truly phenomenal drummer and great personality seen often in FF videos. Gone too soon, like so many before him, but what he left us will live forever." They were followed by Motley Crue's Nikki Sixx and Tommy Lee for Livewire and the classic anthem Home Sweet Home, with Tommy saying, "I watched Taylor grow from being a kid on the scene to becoming one of the best rock drummers ever, but he also became my friend, and I loved the times we spent together." Prior to his time in Foo Fighters, Taylor toured the world with Alanis Morissette, fresh from the success of her huge breakthrough album Jagged Little Pill. Alanis performed in Los Angeles, accompanied by members of the Foo Fighters, taking on her iconic single, You Ought to Know. Queen's Roger Taylor was a musical mentor to Hawkins, as he told us back in our interview in 2019.
Roger's great. He's been like a mentor to me in a lot of ways through the years. If I've ever had any questions about like, well, should I do this or should I do that? I mean, what do you think, Roger? What would you do? You know, he's quick to give me his opinion and his advice, and it's usually pretty much on the money.
Roger appeared at the LA show alongside Queen, as did his son Rufus Taylor of The Darkness. Roger said, "He was the most wonderful man, and I can't quite believe that I'm not going to see him again. He's done a lot to help my son, who's a great drummer, and he actually sort of mentored him. We're going to miss him so much." Rufus added, "At 12 years of age, I sat behind Taylor and watched him play, and I was mesmerized. I wanted to be him. Me, my dad, and he were the three Taylors, and I am beyond proud to call him my godfather." Foo Fighters were of course tasked with closing out the show, joined by a number of special guest drummers, including Travis Barker, Rage Against the Machine's Brad Wilk, and Weezer's Pat Wilson. Alongside big hits like The Pretender, All My Life, and Best of You, the band also delivered This Is a Call and I'll Stick Around from their self-titled debut record, which, as Taylor told us, was one of his favorites in the band's discography.
And I wouldn't mind playing anything off the first record I love. Before I was in the band. And I remember being in America watching MTV and them showing footage of the Foo Fighters playing. I can't remember if it was Reading or Leeds, but it was definitely one of them. And you could see that they were becoming a big band. It was a big deal.
As the evening drew to a close, Taylor's son Shane Hawkins joined the band once again for My Hero, repeating his incredible performance from Wembley Stadium. A perfect end to a perfect show with, as some fans even spotted, hawks circling the venue overhead. The band's greatest hits collection, Essential Foo Fighters, is due out later this year. That's your Rock Sound News Update. I've been James Wilson Taylor. We will see you again soon.